12, it says, Jesus entered the temple and began to drive out all the people that were buying and selling animals for sacrifice. He knocked over all the tables and all the money changers and the chairs of those selling doves. And he said to them, the scriptures declare, my temple would be called a house of prayer, but you have turned it into a den of thieves. Jesus was making a statement that day to say, yeah, I'm coming as a king, but I'm coming humbly. Yes, I'm coming as a king, and I am going to conquer, but it's not conquering what you think that I'm going to conquer this moment. No, I'm going to conquer what's happening in this temple, the way that his name had been taken in vain, and the way that people were exploiting other people. That's what he came to conquer. It's an amazing thing that happened here, because all of the people that were in the outer skirts of this temple, what were they doing? They were exploiting foreigners. They were taking advantage of widows and orphans. They were trying to sell things because people had needs. This was a time of Passover, so people from all over the world were in Jerusalem in those moments. The city was overpacked and overran, and so what did the merchants do? They drove up the price of everything. They drove up the price of everything and saying, we're going to exploit these people that have no other option. They did that with the motel system and for people to come stay at places. They did that in the outskirts of the temple, selling. This is what makes it even worse. Not only were they exploiting people, selling them the food they needed and the goods they needed and the places to stay, but they're exploiting people, selling them the things that they needed for sacrifice in the temple. The doves that they needed to go to present to God in the temple, they jacked up the price on that. And they said, you're going to have to pay a bigger price to get right with God. Whoa. You're going to have to pay a bigger price to get right with God. There's so much more that you're going to have to do if you want to get right with God. If you want your sacrifice to be acceptable, there's a bigger price to pay. And this is what the enemy would love to do. Let's drive up the price on what you have to pay to be able to get right with God. When Jesus is coming humbly and freely, and he's offering a completely different thing when he's about to pay that price that no man can pay. They're trying to drive up the price to say, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. Don't you hear the same thing in your mind all the time? Oh, don't you hear the same thing being told to you? Oh, if you're a good Christian, you'll be doing this. Oh, same thing that you hear in your head about how much you have to clean out your own house before you invite Jesus in. Everything every lie that's spoken to you like that, right? This is them driving up the price for your freedom. Driving up the price for you to be in the presence of God when it's something that is completely free, without condition and without condemnation. So what was Jesus' first thing that he did to conquer? He was driving out the religious exploitation. He was driving out people that were raising the price on the presence of God.